Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us here for another Studio C70 interview ahead of the May 18th election. My name is Cassidy Martin, and I am a current policy and program fellow with the Committee of 70. Today, I'm chatting with Lori Dumas, who is running for Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for sharing your time and joining us, Lori. Why don't you kick it off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Dumas. I'm actually a judge here in Philadelphia. I am born and raised here, so I'm a Philly native. I have been on the bench for 19 years, and I am happy to be here with you today to just talk about a very important election and hopefully get you motivated to get out to vote.
Great, thank you. So our first question, what is one life experience you have that voters should know about?
Wow, one life experience. So, life experience. I've had I'm pretty senior, so I've had plenty of life experiences. But what I think what I can say is, so I came on the bench at a very young age. I was about 32, almost 33. During that time, a lot happens in your 30s, and so my first 10 years on the bench, I had a very significant docket. I was in family court. And I had a lot of, very difficult cases. But during that time, in that first 10 years, I lost both my parents. I got married. I had my youngest child, who's now almost 14. I got divorced. And so those years were very difficult for me. But I still stayed true and dedicated to what I needed to do at work for those people who were depending on me every day. So I think that was probably the hardest time of my life, is still having to be 100% for everybody else as related to my work environment, but having to deal with that stuff, that personal stuff that was going on at the time. My life was a wreck, but thanks be to God, I made it through, and now I'm almost done the next 10 of my journey. So
amazing. Next question, what would be your top 3 policy priorities in office?
So, judges don't set policy, but I will say that I have some ideas for the Commonwealth Court. I would love to create a pipeline for law students of color to the court, because if you don't know, this is a court that at this time has absolutely no people of color. Has not had a person of color on this bench for at least the last 10 years. In the history of this court, there have only been 3. And so I want to create a pipeline. I want to create some energy around this court, because it's so important. And I want law students of color to take interest in the Commonwealth Court, so that they too can begin to kind of think about if this is the journey that they want to take, to this court. I also want to be able to create more community understanding of what this court is, why it's so important. I don't want there to be another judicial election and there's a seat on this court that's open, and the voters don't know what this court is, and they don't know anything about it or the judges that are there. So I want to begin to open up that dialogue for voters to understand what this court is. And then thirdly, I would say I would like to also begin to and this is really for the lawyers out there. So a lot of the opinions of this court are not published, and that's one of the issues that lawyers have in with this court in particular. And what that means is that they don't have access to the opinions of the court, and nor can they use them to cite in their arguments or any type of written documentation that they have to submit in support of the issues that they're arguing for or against. And so I would like to see the opinions of this court, more readily available and published, so that the public as well as the lawyers can use them for their benefit.
Great. And what sets you apart from other candidates?
I think what sets me apart on this campaign trail, other than the fact that I'm probably older than all of them, but it's my experience. It really is. It's my judicial experience. Being on this court, for my current court, for 19 years is significant. I've also sat in every major trial division of the Court of Common Pleas, and bringing that type of experience to a court where the cases are so varied. So there are cases that are the subject matter of the cases, are endless. They deal with issues that are very germane to our existence as humans, as citizens of Pennsylvania. But having the experience of subject matter, having experience of court process, understanding what a trial court judge really is and does is very important for a judge that's sitting on this court. And I have that more so than I possess that experience more so than any of the other candidates that are running.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say, and I really can't speak to what they are, how they are, what they feel their belief systems are, but I know that for me, being on this court has been a tremendous privilege and an honor just to serve. And so my passion for people and my desire to truly make a difference in people's lives is something that I believe is germane to me. And that's because I guess I'm biased because I'm talking about myself, but bringing my legal experience, but also my passion for people and the determination to not ever stop, to leave no stone unturned until justice is served for everyone that has the benefit of coming underneath my, in my courtroom. So,
yeah. Great. Thank you. We just came out of a big presidential election. What would you say to voters who may not be interested or invested in local elections? What is the importance of your office, of the court?
So local elections matter. The decisions that come out of these courtrooms are going to impact our day-to-day in our lives more significantly and more quickly than any law or any regulation that can come out of the executive offices of our legislature, whether it be our state legislature or from the White House. People need to understand that we can't stop at the big elections because it's what happens here on ground level that really is significant for issues that matter to us every single day. When a judge issues an opinion or issues a decision, those decisions go into play right then and there, right? Whereas we're waiting for laws to take place, or they go through a process, it takes time. Lots of times they take, years sometimes to even begin the effects, of that particular law. Judicial decisions are immediate. And so we need to make sure that we understand that and we understand who we're putting in these seats because we sit for at least 10 years. 10 years is a long time to impact lives. So we have to do our due diligence to make sure that we are putting the right people on these courts.
Great. Thank you. And last question to wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share with voters and viewers today?
I would just like to just share the fact that once again, this is an important election. Please take 5 people to the polls with you. All of our lives really depend on this. Judges matter, courts matter, our decisions matter, and you matter. And the only way that we can make sure that our interests are continuously served is to make sure that the people who are representing us, the people who are in these seats on the court, we share the same values and beliefs, at least for justice.
Great. Thank you again for joining us. To learn more about the candidates in the upcoming election, please visit ballot.c70.org. You can build your own ballot and to save and bring with you to the polls when filling out your ballot or by mail as well. Don't forget that the election is May 18th. Make a plan to vote in person and make sure your ballot is received by then. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.